Hi, I'm Stuart and welcome to Sirennet Television. We're here at H&W Pacific Emergency Vehicles. I'm here with Bob Lemieux, who is the Director of Ambulance Sales here at H&W Pacific. And Bob is going to give us a quick talk about this particular ambulance. Now, we've already seen the lighting on it, so what we're now going to do is focus on the vehicle itself, how it's put together, and some of the different aspects of this particular ambulance with respect to the manufacturer, which happens to be Road Rescue. So, Bob, I'm going to hand the mics over to you, and you're going to fill us in a little bit about this particular vehicle. First of all, what type of model is this one?
Okay, this is the Road Rescue Ultra Medic model. The name is kind of signifies it's a top-of-the-line vehicle. It's has a lot of features that other manufacturers don't have that are standard on this one. The Ultra Medic is also designates that it is the long box version. It comes in either a 168, a 170, or a 174-inch long box. This particular one is a 168-inch long box, 96 inches wide, 72 inches interior headroom. And this particular one is a Type 1. It was custom built for the fire department in Pullman, Washington. It's one of two identical units that we're going to be delivering to them next week. This is based on a Ford F550 four-wheel drive chassis.
So again, from a four-wheel drive aspect, do you get a lot of people here in the Pacific Northwest looking at four-wheel drives versus other parts of the United States?
Yes, I believe we do, and the reason is because we have such varied climates here in the Northwest. There are departments that will go from 500 feet above sea level. They'll go on a call, they may end up 2,000 feet above sea level and run into snow or ice. So it's a quick option to make sure that they can safely get to where they need to go. So we are seeing a good deal of four-wheel drive business here.
All right. Well, let's move along the side here and we'll take a look inside the compartments. And again, you mentioned this is a longer box. What's the length on this one?
This one is 168 inches long. It's a full 96-inch wide, and the interior is 72 or 6 feet from floor to ceiling. One of the things with the Road Rescue Ultra Medic and also the Pro Medic line is our engineers have developed a hidden door hinge design. And what this is basically is an automotive style door hinge. As you look on your personal vehicle and all of those, you don't see any door hinges visible like you do on most medic units. And what they've done is found a way to hide that door hinge back there for a very clean exterior. The other benefit of not having that door hinge out in the open is it's less susceptible to getting dirt or sand into the hinge itself, which will cause it to grind and eventually, it just won't work as well. So we do like to point that out. It's a Road Rescue exclusive. Nobody else does this. And we think that it not only looks good, but it is a very functional part of the Road Rescue vehicle.
Great. So again, I'm going to open these up, and we'll kind of open them all more or less so you get a chance to see them. So this is obviously a very nicely set up compartment area again with anti-slip tile put into position. You obviously have adjustable shelf height as well. And again, you have sprayed a coating, which I think you've told us before is a special bed liner coating that actually reduces the scuffing that will happen with equipment going in here. Now again, fire service is what's going to be using this particular vehicle as opposed to an EMS. So do they carry different equipment? Is that a bigger factor?
Yes, they do. A fire-based EMS agency will occasionally be called upon to have some light tools. As we'll see as we get to the rear of the vehicle, they carry breathing apparatus. They just have to carry some things that if they're standing by at a fire scene, they may need some of the tools
which EMS would not normally carry. As we move along, we now have a roll-up compartment. And you mentioned earlier this is for SCBA, which is the breathing apparatus which would be used by firefighters should they have to go into the fire scene.
And as you can see, this rolls out to make it a little bit easier to get to the bottles. A firefighter could almost back up to these and load them on his back without having to go and put strain on your back to load them. So you could literally squat down, get the straps, stand up, and walk away.
Okay. And again, different compartments here. Have a light box, of course, which is a product which we sell here at Sirennet. And again, you can mount in different items depending on how you want to do it. And then very straightforward with the ROM door, just close it down.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the compartments which are on the right-hand side of this particular ambulance. And again, you have a rear compartment, which I can open up here. And again, this is where you would put your full backboards as well as other pieces of equipment. And again, the customer obviously has specified what they want to have in here.
That's correct. We work very hard to build the vehicle around the customer's needs. They carry things in a certain place. They want to have certain equipment accessible from a certain place, and we work very hard to build the compartments and the cabinets so that we can make their lives easier.
As we move along here, now as I said earlier, we actually have shot video of this particular ambulance with respect to the lighting. And we've taken a brief walk around. But this has an unusual compartment configuration, which I must tell you, actually, I like. This is obviously where the EMTs would keep their EMT jump equipment.
What we call the ALS.
So what's the unusual feature about this particular?
Well, in this particular design, it's something that we've done several times now, and what we've done is, on the other rigs you've seen, you'll see the what we call the ALS compartment door. You'll see that at the front corner of the module. However, on this one, we've reversed that, and we've put the side entry door at the front of the vehicle and moved the ALS cabinet to the back. And when we get inside, we'll see a little bit more of how that works. What this does effectively is, when you're in the patient compartment, and it just makes it a little bit safer for the attendants and the paramedics that are working on the patient, because they don't have a step well to come flying into in the event of a sudden stop. So it makes for a safety area within the patient compartment to keep everybody a little bit safer. And all we've really done here is just reverse these two items and hid the step well behind the ALS stack, so that that's not some place where somebody's going to fall and potentially be injured.
So we're going to go to the back, and we're going to take a look at the air suspension system. Now again, this will drop once we open the rear compartment doors. Okay. I've got a question. This is very common. Particular reason why this is a fold-up step?
It makes it easier to get the cot closer to the body with the patient on board, and it makes it easier for the wheels to clear the rear bumper by having that cot in that, or the bumper flip in that situation.
Okay. So this is going to now go down. We can put this back into position. Let's go on inside. And it's a very hot day right now here in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, we're experiencing temperatures of about 102. For those of you in Texas, you're probably rolling around laughing, saying we're such weaklings. But here we are in a very nicely air-conditioned ambulance compartment. So there's no question that this particular vehicle has some very interesting features, and obviously this is the very high end compared to some other ambulances that I've already seen here at H&W Pacific. So tell us a little bit about the features in this particular area, and we'll then move into the other areas.
When you have a paramedic seated on the bench and giving patient care to a patient here, you actually have a wall directly in front of you that, in the event of a sudden stop or somebody pulls out in front of you and you hit them, there's no place for that attendant to go other than just a short travel distance into this area, as opposed to falling all the way forward and going down into the stepwell like will happen with a conventional medic unit. You'll notice that we do have a switch panel, a complete switch panel on this side of the vehicle. The road rescue is standard with a multiplex electrical system. It comes with a panel in the front, a panel in the back. This unit has two in the back due to the customer desires, so that they can actually operate the switch panel from either side of the patient. They can do every function here are identical, and also many of the functions can be performed from the front switch console as well. This is the conventional action counter side. You can see again the countertops are Avenite, one-piece monolithic construction, no chance of any contaminants that will seep in and hide. This particular customer has specified a little bit of rubber matting to keep things from sliding around. It's easy to remove and sterilize. They've specified a small cabinet here. It's something that is privy to this customer's previous medical units, so we have gone ahead and duplicated that. As you can see, we have the oxygen outlets, the suction, built-in suction, and the Ultramedic has a rail system where they just line up all of the items in a little rail here along the counter. And what that allows us to do, it's a clean way if we need to change or add a function perhaps, or add another outlet, a 12-volt outlet or a 115-volt outlet. It makes it easier to do that. It does have its own independent lighting for that counter area, so you don't have to have all the main lights on. Then we have a pretty typical cabinet here, and this particular cabinet, as you can see, has some acrylic dividers in it that are they're on an adjustable drac, both above and below the shelf here, so that you can change your storage as you need it to accommodate your supplies. Another feature that's standard with the Road Rescue Ultramedic is the entire cabinet frame flips up and out of the way, so that when it comes time to clean and restock the items in the cabinets, it makes it very easy to get in here and rotate your stock and do whatever you have to do. So again, another standard on the Road Rescue Ultramedic.
Right, Bob. So one other thing too, which I've noticed, is you have plenty of storage obviously under the different compartment seats. I'm going to quickly spin around this way, and we can actually lift the lever and see that, which I also like. And then also on the other side here, as we'll swing around, again, under storage. Now undoubtedly the length of this box has allowed you to put a lot more equipment and storage space into it. Because obviously this is a double seat as compared to a single seat. So in theory you can have 2 people here plus another 4 people here, or 3?
Three people on this
so
side.
Again, we're looking at a total of 6.
Correct.
Okay. And then obviously on the floor here we see this sort of like a configuration, and that is set up to take the ambulance stretcher or cot as it gets put into the vehicle.
And one other feature we like to point out that's a Road Rescue standard, if you look up into the ceiling, you'll see a series of vents that run the length of the patient compartment. The air conditioning, and in the wintertime the heat, is all dispersed from these ceiling mounted vents, and it allows for very even dispersion of heat and air conditioning. In the case of heating the vehicle up in the back, it forces the air down, which is, we all know that warm air will rise, but it forces down and then rises back up. So it does create a little convection within the patient compartment, keeps it very warm.
Right.
Of course, we do have an insulated subfloor system that is an inch thick block of foam that also protects from the outer elements, and it helps in the summer and it helps in the winter. Any insulation properties are good for both heat and cool, so we do like to point that out.
Okay. Now one other thing that I also like about this is you have, I guess in theory you could have this as a whiteboard if you decide to.
That is a marker board, yeah.
And the other nice thing is that, again, on long transports, and this ambulance is going to be operating in a rural community, you have a patient, they don't necessarily want to feel they're in a totally enclosed box. They're getting natural light coming in from the outside, or maybe seeing some scenery move by, depending on how they're sitting or lying on the stretcher. So that also helps as well.
Correct. And you have the option of doing what you want with it, and this also has what we call, we have a tinting option on these windows where you can see out, but it's almost impossible to see in. And when you have to respect the privacy of your patients, so you don't want people peering into the windows. So it's a way to have a little more secure environment when a patient's being treated. So
great. Well, Bob, I must say thank you very much for showing us around this brand new Road Rescue Ultramedic ambulance, which of course is going to go to Pullman, Washington.
That's correct.
I'm Stuart, and as always, many thanks for watching Sirennet Television. Now, one final thing, Bob, I want to take a look at. We've obviously been inside the rig. We've just quickly stepped outside. I want to try this. Well, the engine's on, so we can now do this. put this into, unlock it, take it out, because I really like to play with gadgets. So we're going to get this to come down. This is really neat. And down it goes. And it's actually Stewart proof, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's down in position.
That's correct.
Open this up here so you can get your O2 in.
That little collar comes out. You just roll the bottle in, strap it into place. Okay, we have a bottle here, and
in it goes.
In it goes.
Could you make it any easier? And it's done.
Very nice.
Lock it.
Lock it in place.
So can I get a special license now? Can I? Can I?
Yeah. You get a training certificate.
Oh, thanks, Bob. I really appreciate that.